Alright, guys and girls, this is Shant Kashishan, also known as Dee Ancer, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Here I am. I am a Grandmaster F.A.N.G player, and I promise I'm not going to rant about the character. I've done that before. At one point, I stopped playing for a couple of months, and then I picked it up again. And I tried to play multiple characters, but I really love F.A.N.G, and I love his design. But I figured on behalf of all the F.A.N.G players and other mid to low tier character loyalists, I want our voice to be heard. At least, make this video and see if Capcom will listen. But I did gather data from the F.A.N.G Discord and the F.A.N.G players, and we have a wish list for Season 4. So here it is. And I've categorized this wish list into two different categories. One being mostly the most important, and the other one definitely not trivial, but moderately important. But they're both important because we want this character to be viable. We want there to be diversity in tournaments, and for character loyalists to stick to their characters. That's what we love about Street Fighter. Alright, so most importantly, they messed with the V-reversal. I'm not necessarily asking for the V-reversal to be reverted, but the distance that it travels, it should be a little further. Because if you take Nash or Colleen, Rashid, Ed, their V-reversals, some of theirs is actually faster, and their V-reversal puts them much, further, so they could use it more reliably. But F.A.N.G can't, and he doesn't have many defensive options, so we need that V-reversal to be fixed. Whether we get invincibility, keep it the same, or increase the distance on it so that we could use it, because we need it. Another one, and F.A.N.G players, this came up a few times. We need 4-frame conversions. Sometimes we can't punish. Our fastest button is a 4-frame jab, and we would like that 4-frame to be not cancelable to every single special. That would be, ridiculous, but at least to the EX ones. To EX Sotoja, the hands, right, or EX ryobenda or light ryobenda, but kind of give F.A.N.G that sim treatment. He's not going to be overpowered. Look at Sim. He's a mid-tier character, but he has all these tools that we strongly believe that F.A.N.G needs to have. So a 4-frame jab that converts into, that can cancel to special. Another one is the low normal. How they gave Sim a low normal, cancelable into a special, whether it is or not, that's fine, but we do need a low normal. In certain matchups, for example, Lara, when she throws her fireball, it's a slow fireball, we cannot do anything to stop it, because we don't have a low normal. And also, it would help us condition our opponents a little more. After we do crouch kicks, people walk back, and we have to take major risks. We have to gamble with the sweeps, and we would prefer, not playing that much of a gambly style. Kind of like Sim, same idea. Okay. Let me see here. Critical art. Sometimes our critical art does not connect. In my opinion, the hitbox is too stubby. If it could reach a little, more forward, so basically a forward hitbox, I think it would be more viable as a super, as a critical art. But also definitely the glitchiness of it needs to be fixed, because sometimes we honestly land our critical art and it, it just whiffs, and we end up getting majorly punished and losing the round. So we get punished for landing critical art. Poison mechanics. Okay, this one There are different ideas regarding this. I'll share mine. Um, Actually, no. Someone also had mentioned that for the V trigger one, the vskill has a hitbox. The V trigger one can be a little better. Uh, if the poison can drain twice as much life, that's what we would like, at the very least. But play around the poison mechanics, because after all, that is what F.A.N.G is about. He's about the poison. But very rarely, if you ask players, they will not mention the poison mechanic at all. Top players don't care about getting poisoned unless it's a round ender, and then you could time them out. But that does not happen often in this game because it's more of a volatile game. It's harder to play that slow-paced game. So poison mechanics definitely can be altered. V trigger one, well, yes, that's what it's same again. Same idea. It's the sim treatment. How similar to Dawson's V trigger one, it drains your life slowly. Actually, it's just gray health for him, but our mechanic is a little different. V trigger 2, I personally stopped using V trigger 2 because it's too expensive. I don't have many defensive options. I would like the V reversal if I want to, and then it doesn't make my V trigger 2 viable to use anymore because I've used I use the V gauge. But also, sometimes, it happened to me a few times where I realized, especially in certain matchups, actually I'd say half of the cast could rob you in this game. So, it's good to have a good 2-bar V-trigger. A lot of the top tiers have 2-bar V-triggers, or their 3-bar V-trigger is absolutely deadly. And our 3-bar V-trigger is not deadly, because you'd have to get a hit confirm to get a good setup going. A lot of F.A.N.Gs will use the V-trigger 2 to remind you guys what it is. Basically, the nishikyu, the fireballs, have an additional hit to them, and they actually have a splash hitbox, and you could cancel the command dash from it, so F.A.N.G players can apply pressure and go in. But I figured, why would I waste V-gauge on that when I could just use V-trigger 1 with the hitbox, and if I'm going to use it to get my offense going, to go in and put some pressure, then I'll just use V-trigger 1. It's less expensive and it's the same idea. So V-trigger 2 is good if you could get close and get a mix-up going, left, right, or get a hit confirm, but you really need a hit confirm because a lot of times you end up wasting the V-trigger. So, all of the things that I mentioned up to this point, in my opinion, those are the most important changes that need to happen, or something close to that. Now, other concerns these are still important to us, but we're shooting for the stars, and if we could land on the moon, then that's good for us. But here it is. Other important things. This one was my opinion. Mobility wise, look at Sim. I compare F.A.N.G to Sim because they're kind of similar in design, more or less. He doesn't have the greatest walk speed, but at the same time, he could space his drills in a way where he doesn't need to walk too much and you get shimmied, right? But for F.A.N.G, when he does the crouch kicks, I have to either press a button or go for a throw. I can't walk back, I'll get thrown. I can't shimmy because my walk back is way too slow. So his walk back should definitely be a little faster because he's also a charge character. He is gonna walk back, and it's not such a big buff because when you're walking back, what are you doing? You're essentially cornering yourself. Now, if his back and forth movement were to be very fast, then that mobility would benefit him. But even at that, I don't think it would be broken because look at Vega. Vega has amazing mobility. And how often do you see Vega in top 8s or doing well at majors and winning majors? You don't see it often because Vega, Sim, F.A.N.G, they kind of have something similar going on. They're weak defense and not the greatest offense. So Mobility. Uh, this is from me as well. Shorter forward dash for Oki off of sweep. Because his current design, it sometimes forces us, all of the F.A.N.Gs and the high level F.A.N.Gs will sweep every now and then. Because people will walk back so that our Senpokaga, our cow crouch kicks, whiffs, and we get whiff punished. So we want to prevent that. So our ability isn't good. We usually go for the sweep to keep you from walking back. So if we're gonna make such a big gamble, because if you block the sweep, we will get majorly punished for it. So if we land the sweep, and it's good for us to have an Oki. So a shorter normal dash would give us that Oki. So less frames or a shorter distance, either one, it's fine. V skill should have a faster startup. It is not, it's not the most incredible V skill. It only does 60 damage for 10 seconds, and if you get hit by it. But characters like Cammy can completely avoid the V skill unless we go full screen. But the V skill travels full screen, so it's very ineffective in actually more than 1 or 2 matchups. So my opinion is that startup, when you see this, you shouldn't be able to react to it and punish it. So the startup of the V skill should be much faster, where it's not reactable to punish, in my opinion. I would give F.A.N.G 50 more stun and 50 more health. I think he needs it. I don't think it will make such a big difference. He does have a glass jaw either way. There are some very volatile characters in this game. I think just that, and we're not even asking for much. 50 is not much at all. Another one is, actually a few people mentioned this, surprisingly. His aerial game feels incomplete. One of the most frustrating things for F.A.N.G players is when we air to air someone, we both jump, I jump forward, and I hit my opponent in the air. They land before me, and sometimes I can't even block. Not only can I, excuse me, I totally, silently burped there, but they sometimes land before us. We not only can we not press a button, but they get a confirm. So we get punished for jumping forward, and even Sim has an option for that. He could just do air to air and teleport air to air. We are the only character. F.A.N.G is the only character that has that flaw. So I think that we should level the play field at the very least, in my opinion. So either the fix for this would be either fix his jump arc, so his jump arc's kind of low, like Gen. And that's good for many reasons. I'm gonna mention other things regarding that too. A lower jump arc, or give him a unique special, either an air dash, a float, something that will make his aerial approach viable. Maybe let him jump forward, and after a hit I could dash back. And it doesn't need to be something, it's not gonna be broken, There are many characters that have whether it's a super jump or command dashes. And F.A.N.G already by design has a command dash on the ground. And if you could do a Flappy Bird, it kind of makes sense that you could float at least, or do something, or do a drill or something, and it wouldn't be broken. Look, Manat has a drill, Sim has a drill, Vega has a lot of aerial mobility. I mean, Bison, that's another character design, but he hits like a truck and he has air mobility. So you guys can kind of see why F.A.N.G is handicapped in that way. It's something that he needs. It'll make him more complete. Improving his downward hitbox of a jump medium kick or jump heavy kick. There are characters in this game. Vesper Arcade recently made a video on this. That, for example, Kami, Ibuki, they have very fast normals that anti-air almost every situation. And see, that's a problem. And not only those two characters, but there are more, the top tiers, have those options. But still, F.A.N.G should be able to jump every now and then. And since if his arc is gonna be terrible, and his jump arc is gonna be very floaty and slow, then he might as well have a good hitbox. But his hitbox is not good. Or should I say their anti-air hitbox is much better. So hitbox, hurtbox, something needs to be messed with there so that F.A.N.G can be viable in a way with his jump ins if it's gonna be that bad as far as the jump arc is concerned. Now, okay, then this is the last one. Crouching, sweep, the hitbox, hurtbox for it. If most of the cast, literally 90 or 95% of the cast, I can't even think of who doesn't have it. See, another example of how F.A.N.G cannot do what everyone else can do. And this is, I'm not going to use the term frustrating. I love this game, but it's things that need to be fixed. Okay, so the sweep will not trade with stationary or slow projectile. Not with the projectile itself, but if the character is behind it. For example, F.A.N.G can place a ryobenda, right? But almost every character in the game can punish that on reaction with a sweep. It's a trade, but they have an advantage because they get the knockdown, and I can't even use it. It's not even viable. So actually, because of that issue, I think that F.A.N.G's ryobenda should completely, there should be a hitbox there that will completely prevent people from sweeping through it. Because honestly, if I do this, I'm not getting much. And besides, you could always jab over it or medium kick over it, or you could, there are so many ways and there are so many anti-fireball, anti-projectile options in this game. So it's, please give this thing a hitbox so people can't sweep on reaction, please. And also, F.A.N.G sweep should have a good hitbox on it too, so that if I see someone throwing a fireball or a stationary fireball or a slow one, I could get that trade. If 99%, if everybody else is gonna have that sweep trade option, then I want to have it too. Or F.A.N.G, F.A.N.G as a character. So surprisingly, I think that's it, guys. I don't know. You tell me. I don't know if if I ranted too much or not. But the year is gonna end in a couple of months, and we know for season 4, like every year, there will be a patch, and there hasn't been a patch in a while now. So they're gonna work on it. Capcom's gonna work on it. So, yeah, if you guys want. You guys are character loyalists or want to support our cause as F.A.N.G players, please circulate this video and this link. Maybe Capcom could get a hold of it and get inspired with some of the things we're talking about. And like I said, it's on behalf of me and the best F.A.N.G players. I just tagged a whole bunch of F.A.N.G players today on Twitter, social media, on Discord, and also don't forget to follow me, guys, on Twitter. It's Dee Ancer, one word. It's either Dee Ancer, one word, or with an underscore, I forget. And also on Twitch, because I do stream sometimes. Alright, well, until next time then.